John Kenney in Marston's Mills. Well, there are a lot of memories, fond memories of the town. Most of them are sports related, actually. I remember when I first moved here. I moved here in 1969. My parents came down in November of 1969, and I came down in April of 1970. I stayed to finish the basketball season at my old school. And the first thing I remember is I did come down. We had finished our season, and Barnstable was playing Falmouth in the old Principals tournament. And I watched the two teams play, and I went back and told my friends I could never make either one of those two teams. So it was kind of fun when I did come down here and got involved in the sports programs. And my junior year, we won the state championship in basketball. My senior year, the hockey team won the state championship. It was either my junior or senior year, we won the state championship in track. So a lot of it's sports related. And then as time went on and I grew in the community and got to know the community a lot better, probably the fondest memory I have, and I think one of the strengths of Barnstable was, it again relates to sports, but it was the development of the Silver Bullets youth football program and how that grew, both the cheerleading and the football program. It started in 1987. Some people in the community, Mike Dacey, Mike Zekas, Brian Dacey, were instrumental in getting everybody together. Ron Knight, a dentist here in town, pulled everybody together and started this program, and the business community and residents in the town ponied up $50,000 to get the program started. It went on, and the very first team, the 8 and 9-year-old team, went on to win the state championship in 1995. And the cheerleading program has gone on, and they've won multiple championships at the state level, and I believe nationally, some of the cheerleading programs. So it's been tremendous, and it was a total community support. And that's one of my fondest memories, is to watch that program develop and grow from infancy to the success it is today, and it continues today. Dick Graves, probably the most influential coach I had in any sport at any level. He was very demanding but very fair, and I learned so much about basketball and just dedication and what it took to be a winner. And he was a great coach, a really nice guy, could really relate to high school students, and he's a friend today. I enjoy actually going to Barnstable basketball games on occasion when I can, and I often see Dick there, and I sit with him, and I'm still learning from him about basketball.
And his assistant at that time was?
Dick Segura, another really nice guy. Dick was a lot of fun, great guy to come along and pat you on the rump when you needed it, and could scold you when you needed that too. I ran the 880 reluctantly, but I also ran the 220 in the relay. I threw the shot put on occasion. Very different than it is today. When I moved from the town of Medway, and Medway at the time, my freshman class was 150 kids, and it was the largest class in the history of the school. And when I came to Barnstable, my graduating class was 363 kids, but that included the vocational school. There was no Cape Tech or Upper Cape Regional. The vocational school was at Barnstable. So we had a mixture of kids from other towns at Barnstable High School as well. And during the early 70s, we also had open campus where we could leave campus and go to lunch, which was probably not the best idea. But it was a much smaller school than it is today, but very closely knit. My first job when I moved down here, again, I was in 10th grade. I came down in April of 1970, didn't know a soul. And I think there was an advertisement in the Cape Cod Times. Forget what it was called back then. It was the New Bedford Standard Times, and the mall had recently opened, and I took a job as a busboy dishwasher at the lunch counter at Woolworths in the mall. It was we lived in Hyannis. I could walk if I had to get to work. If my parents weren't available to give me a ride, I could walk home, so it was a very convenient place. But not a job I want to repeat. Well, for as long as I can remember, I wanted a career in law. I have my father's brother, my uncle Joe Kenney, was a lawyer in Medway, and I always respected him and admired what he did. And I just always had an interest in law, so there wasn't any specific teacher that influenced me to go into law or even to go on to college. That was my parents. They were very influential in pushing us to get an education. My favorite teachers, again, Mr. Graves as a teacher coach. He was a gym teacher as well as a coach. And Miss Shea, who I had for physics, she passed away a number of years back, but she was just, she was a very good teacher, very compassionate, and she was one I have very fond remembrances of, and really liked and respected her. As far as practicing law, it was, as I said, something I always wanted to do. My parents were here in Barnstable. I actually started out working in Boston. I was doing real estate syndication work. I came back to the Cape for a wedding. A friend of mine, her sister was getting married here in the Cape. It was down in Chatham. And there were people from all over the country at the wedding, and everybody kept commenting how beautiful it was here on Cape Cod. And can you imagine living here? And I thought to myself, you dummy, you could live here. So I went back to my office in Boston where I was working and put a resume together and sent it out, and came back to Barnstable and opened up my practice. And that was I was 30 years old at the time. That was the time my friends were buying homes or needed wills. They were having children. I have a large family. I have 6 sisters and 2 brothers. And several of my family members live here in town, as well as my parents. My father's now deceased, but my mother still lives here in town. And because I had so many family relationships throughout the community, it helped me grow my practice, and here I am. Yes, I deal with the growth management division of the town of Barnstable quite a bit, in the building department and Board of Health and Conservation Commission. I appear before the zoning board, the licensing board, the Conservation Commission, and the Board of Health pretty frequently, and I very much enjoy the back and forth. It's funny, it's particularly the zoning. I really enjoy the zoning and land use, and you'll spend weeks and weeks preparing to come before the board, and you'll get up in front of the board and you think you've got everything thought through, and somebody asks you something, and I'll sometimes be standing there thinking, first I'm thinking, what the heck is this guy thinking about, or is this woman thinking about? And then it kind of, you listen and you think, geez, I never looked at the issue that way, and you learn a lot. You get different perspectives. There's a lot of back and forth. Sometimes I walk out of here pretty angry. Other times I walk out of here having learned something. But the one thing I will say with every board in this community, I always feel like I get a full and fair hearing. I'm very comfortable in saying that with every board in this town, and I think that's a strength of the town, because a lot of them are volunteers. We have a lot of committees in this town, and predominantly volunteers, and they're the strength of the community and of the town government. My favorite place, although I don't go there very often anymore, I'd have to say, if I had to pick one particular place, would be Sandy Neck. I love it over there, although I don't go to the beach much anymore because I've my good old Irish skin and doesn't get along with the sun. But as far as what I do, I'm involved in a lot of boards. I'm a board of director for the Cape and Islands United Way. I'm a past president of the Hyannis Area Chamber of Commerce and member of the board of directors of that organization. I'm a past member of the board of directors of the Zion Union Heritage Museum, and I helped get them off the ground and did quite a bit of legwork for them. I'm on the board of directors of the Cape Cod Curling Club. I'm a past member of the board of directors at Comaquid Golf Course, and my wife and I like to golf at Comaquid. We spend a lot of time this time of the year golfing at Comaquid Golf Course, and then a lot of the winter time we spend curling at the Cape Cod Curling Club over in Falmouth, and we actually travel quite a bit doing the curling as well. The first challenge is bothered me since the time I moved to Cape Cod, going all the way back to the town of Barnstable, going all the way back to 1970, is the village mentality. It really bothers me that people think of the village first and not the town as a whole. And we're either a single town or we're seven separate villages and let's go our own ways. I hate that village mentality first. I think that's a serious challenge for the community. And the other thing is the lack of, as I stated earlier, the lack of good job opportunities, particularly for people 18 to 40. We have a growing dichotomy between the have and the have-nots. We've got a lot of people that are struggling to make it, a lot of people making quite a bit of money, and a very weak or non-existent middle class. And it's the middle class that really keeps a community together, and it's no news. I mean, there have been studies that have shown that. And I think finding good job opportunities for people here in the town is probably the singular biggest challenge that we face, because I think it's an answer to a lot of the other issues here in our community. Unquestionably fall. Didn't mention football much other than the Silver Bullet program, but football is my favorite sport. I love it. I love the change of season. This time of year right now, August coming in and moving into September and October, the weather is just beautiful throughout New England, but it's particularly beautiful here in the Cape. It's less crowded, as we all know, although I enjoy the summer season. I like having the pace of life picked up by the visitors that come here, but the fall weather fits me perfectly. I love 75 degrees and dry, low humidity, sunshiny days, and I love it when it gets down into the high 40s and low 50s at night. It's just perfect for me. John Kenney, Marston's Mills.